Hey there, everyone. I see a few of you in here right now. Welcome. This is Christian here, your moderator for the day. We'll get started here in just a couple of minutes. If you do have any questions for me while we wait, feel free to chat those in, use the Q&A tool, or raise your hand. I'll be able to see that. Otherwise, just sit back, relax, and wait for the show to get started here in about 3 minutes. With that being said, guys, I'm going to go ahead and start this recording here. For everyone that doesn't know me, my name is Christian. I'm a trainer here at Inside Real Estate with kvCORE and some of our other lines of products. Today, we have one of our guest speakers, Ryan, who's actually going to be going into one of the cool features here with our pay-per-click ads from Google. And with that being said, if you guys have any questions, feel free to chat those or raise your hand. You can use that Q&A tool in the Zoom meeting. With that being said, Ryan, go ahead and take it away, my man.
Yeah, hey guys, thanks, Christian. Actually, we can talk about the done for you service that we have in Marketplace, but what I want to actually do today was show you guys how to run your own Google pay-per-click ads, if you'd like to do that. So I'm just going to kind of go a little quick. Again, these sessions are a little next level sometimes. They're not the basics. We have our basic sessions, our quick starts from Monday to Thursday at, what is that, at 1 p.m. East. But I'm going to start by just showing you an example ad, give you some context on what Google pay-per-click is. I have a feeling most of you guys know what Google pay-per-click is. If you want to chat in and be like, yeah, I know what Google PPC is. Also, let us know if you are running your own Google campaigns already. I'd be interested to hear that. But basically, what Google pay-per-click is somebody goes to Google. So let's do it, google.com. And maybe they Google Tampa, Florida homes for sale. Teresa's running them. And then the stuff that shows up top, and for some reason, I'm not seeing any that say ad in Tampa at the very moment. Let's try San Diego real estate.
That's funny.
That is funny. You
Yeah.
know, sometimes I wonder if it's because I'm logged into my Google account like this in my ads account, and they want to eliminate click fraud.
Yeah, I got some results with some ads.
Yeah, I think that's what it is, actually. That actually does make a lot of sense. I'm going to try it not logged in and just see what happens. So, guys, if you are doing this and you don't seem to see any ads, it might be because you're logged into your account. You see, I logged into an incognito real estate, and there we go. So the idea is people search keywords in your area: Tampa homes for sale, Tampa, Florida real estate, Tampa new construction. And the idea is that you get to the top of Google because you're bidding to be in the top spot. And this has been around, you know, this is the way Google makes money for the most part with the advertising. And this is probably their oldest ads product is search ads like this one. So what we're going to do is we're going to show you how to run one of these today. I'm going to start by showing you an example ad that we've been running here in Pinellas County, Florida, probably for about a year now. We have a niche focused ad here for St. Pete new construction. And you can see this is fairly typical. I think our numbers might be slightly higher than the average, but if you're doing this right, in most markets, you should be able to get a lead for between, say, $8 and $20 a piece. And this particular ad has been running, it has gotten 4,900 clicks. I'll try to make this bigger for you guys. It's gotten a click-through rate of 10.74%, which is blazing. That's really high. Click-through rate means that somebody searched, they saw our specific ad in the results, and 10% of the people who saw the ad, it appeared on a page like this, click through. So that's actually fairly high. We're paying $1.09 a click, and then we've gotten 576 leads at $9 a piece from those. And one of the really nice things about Google Ads, if we start to think about the numbers here, is that there's a lot higher intent than, say, Facebook ads, meaning that somebody is actually taking some effort to type a search term into Google. They're looking for something, where on Facebook, they're kind of being interrupted with something, right? They're scrolling, looking at cat pictures and talking to their friends, and then they get interrupted with a real estate ad. And the reason I bring this up is to mention that if you can convert, say, only 1% of these, and I bet it can be higher over time, but 1% of these 576 would be 5.76 deals, right? So call it 6 deals on $5,000 in spend, and that's a low 1% conversion rate. And in most markets, that's a good, you'll get a nice return if you close 6 sides, you know, for that amount of money. And you'll do better than, say, paying somebody a referral fee at 20% all day. So that's just kind of really rough math. You can see here the conversion rate is 11.73%. So 10 to 12% is kind of the norm, maybe as low as 9, where somebody clicks on the ad and then they opt in to your kvCORE site. In this particular example, I want to show you the actual ad. We've got 2 running against each other, right? One is converting a slightly higher, but the offer we're making, this is kind of interesting, is we're offering St. Pete, Florida new construction, and then we're saying hundreds of homes and condos priced from the low 200s. This is sort of my formula where I say what type of properties. I mentioned sort of some numbers and then what it's priced from. And then this one's slightly different. I do this waterfront in town. But this formula that you see on the screen is fairly safe and proven. If you're doing your own ads, you can do something like this. And we're going to kind of run this step by step here in a minute and walk through our thinking. But what's interesting about this is that we're doing a niche focused search, but we're showing this ad to people who are searching what you would call short tail keywords, or the main keywords in our market. So you can see here I have St. Pete condos for sale, homes for sale, St. Pete. We're not going nuts. We're only using about 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 active keywords to get these results. And I know that a lot of people, starting with Google PPC, they're like, what keywords are you using? You know, they want a list of thousands of keywords. And when really you can get most of the results from just these long tail. And you can see even a few of these could probably be optimized a little better because they're not showing due to real low quality score, which I can explain in a minute. So just a little kind of background info. I've done this training a bunch of times, Christian, and I usually do this part at the end.
Really?
So
Okay.
I thought it'd be cool. I thought it'd be cool to give some context before we
Sure.
actually start to run. And let me look here. I see a question. Let me see. I'm going to save that one for a bit later, Rich.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So let's actually do the steps to get started with Google Ads. And the first thing that you need to do is you're going to want to click ads and go to ads.google.com or google.com/ads. And you're going to want to create yourself an account. I'm not going to go into the nitty gritty of that because I already have my account set up, but just know it's a wizard. Google wants to take your money. They make it pretty easy for you to sign up for this. And then you're going to get to a point where you're in a dashboard that looks sort of similar to this one. Now, one thing that I like to point out is that the view that I'm looking at is actually their, I think they call it expert mode or more advanced mode. And in general, this is probably where you want to get to. They have kind of a light version that doesn't give you all the options I'm going to show you today. So if your dashboard doesn't look like this, then I believe they always move it, but usually up toward the top here, there's an option to switch the view. It's usually straight up top, but look for expert mode or advanced mode if you can to get to a view like I have here. So Ross is asking a good question. I'm going to stop and answer. He assumes Google Ads only run when somebody's using Google to search. That's actually, for the most part, yes, but Google actually does have partner. They do have partners sites that you can run your ads on if you set that setting to kind of expand and use partners, and you'll see that in a minute. So they might not always be using Google. And also there are different objectives in Google ads, such as running YouTube ads and Google Display, which will show your sites on your ads on different sites. So so it's mostly true.
Just going off of that, is it usually the partnered sites there, or is it even like the sites that Google owns, like YouTube and stuff like that?
Right. So
Okay.
sites Google owns, but there are, I believe they have partnerships the same way Facebook does with their audience network,
Okay.
where there are some of these like 3rd or 5th tier search engines. You know, Google's not the only search engine out there, and they might actually pay those search engines to kind of drive the click back through. So, we're going to see that in just a minute, the option to turn that off, which I actually recommend doing in the beginning. So, Michelle's asking, should she use her business profile or a website option? That's not so relevant to Google, but we'll get there. All right, so first thing you're going to want to do with Google Ads so that you're able to track the conversions the way that we're doing now is you're going to want to install the Google Pixel. Okay, so a little bit of kind of housekeeping before you start running your ads. And the way you're going to do that is you're going to go to Tools and Settings, and you're going to click up here where it says Conversions. And they recently changed the way this looks. So I might fumble a bit, but you're going to get to this point. You're going to say, hey, give me a new conversion action. Choose the website. And then it says here, your site will be scanned for the global site tag. And that's what we're really trying to get to. We're trying to get the global site tag and also the conversion pixel. And it's going to scan it and try to give you instructions for putting it on your website. So I'll just put mine on. This is my kvCORE URL, ryanhartman.foreverfloridarealestate.com. Now it should find the global site tag for me. See if it does. And it did. It's giving me a suggestion. But what you're going to want to do is just go through the wizard, and I'm going to do mine manually right here. And the goal category is going to be, any of these really will work, but choose the sign up. You can name your conversion something like, you can just leave it as sign up. You can say kvCORE conversion, something like that. For the value, just put don't use a value, because we're not doing e-commerce. You're not going to generate money as soon as you generate a lead. It'd be nice if we did, right? But we've got a long sales cycle we're contending with. You definitely want to, it's where it says select how many conversions to count, choose one. You don't want to count multiple conversions if the person kind of comes back through again. And then all these other options, you're fine to leave as they are. And then you're going to click create and continue. And then you're going to have this option here to install your tag, and just choose the first one where it says install the tag yourself. And you're going to see two snippets of code. You're going to see this one up top and this one at the bottom right here. So I'm going to grab the first one, just copy it. And I'm going to hop into kvCORE. And this is being recorded, guys. I know I'm going at a brisk pace just so we can get this done in an hour, but you can kind of slow down the YouTube player or wherever you're watching the replay if you need to, or rewind. So we've copied our code. We're going to come into the web and IDX. We'll go to, I'll just hover here and go to website settings. And if we scroll down about a third of the way down, we're going to put that first snippet that we got over here, the global site tag, we're going to put that in the header section right here, like so. And then we'll click save. Okay, I'm not going to do that because I already have it in there, but then you would click save, and then you're going to come back here, and you're going to go down here, and this is your event snippet, which means this is what tracks the conversion. You can actually see it right here, this little conversion thing. So we copy that whole thing. And this is what's going to go in our conversion code box right here. And you can see I have it kind of sitting there already. You're going to paste that in and hit save. Now, guys, important thing here, if you're pasting these snippets into these boxes, you don't want to overwrite anything that's already in there. You're just going to put it up top or at the bottom of what's already in there. There may be stuff that you have in there for other reasons, or some custom CSS and things like that. Just be careful not to break anything that's existing. You can just post it alongside. So once you've pasted those codes, those snippets, basically what you've done is you've given Google the ability to pretty much spy on or watch the people visiting your site. And you've also given them the ability to say, hey, somebody clicked on this ad you ran and they made it and they registered on your site. So it's a success, you know, and they track the conversion, and you're able to see all that data I was showing you at the beginning there, such as cost per click and cost per lead and all that stuff. You'll see cost per click without it, but cost per lead is the big one. So a little bit of housekeeping, as you can see, not too hard, takes 2 to 5 minutes, and you're good to go there. Now, once that's done, we're going to come back into the main dashboard here. We're going to try to get to a view that looks like this. Go to all campaigns. It likes to kind of stick wherever you were, but you're going to see the option right here. It says new campaign, or you'll see a plus button almost from any screen, and we're going to click on that. And we are going to do a leads campaign. And this has changed for those of you who have done this before. Frankly, it's confusing me. They're like offering you to use all these different goals. I don't think you need to pick any of these. I'm not sure why this is here. Let me see. Yeah, you can remove all these, but it's going to track any of these existing things you had going. Just click continue and go through that. And then the important thing is to choose the search in this first box. This is the kind of type of ad that you're running. Really good question from Michelle. Do you need a different script for Google Ads if you already added a pixel for Google Analytics? You can do your goal tracking through Google Analytics and track your conversions that way, but it's a little more, it's a little tricky with kvCORE. So I would recommend, if you're doing these, just add it again, add this snippet as well. It's not going to hurt you. In theory, out of the box, Michelle, Google Analytics should actually track the conversions for you. I'm pretty sure, because it's going to fire an event tag. But that's it's a little trickier if you're using Google Analytics. So for the purposes of today, I'm going to say just post it again. If you're getting more advanced and you want to email me and you really want to use Google Analytics to track this, I can probably help with that. Okay, so we're going to choose search. I'm going to choose website visits as the way I want to reach my goal. Don't really need to put the website here. They ask for it because it kind of helps them find keywords and things like that. So I'll just go ahead and do it. Hey, if you got okay. My email is rhartman@insiderealestate.com. But
Yes. So guys, just a quick reminder, we will be getting a copy of this recording out to you via a Google document link, and you guys will have that. I did share it earlier, but I'll share it again here in just a second, and it will be made available at the end of the meeting today.
And we try to get these posted to YouTube as quickly as possible as well. So campaign name will simply be the name of our campaign. So let's do a condos campaign today. So you can do a general home search in your area. I'm a fan of doing new construction condos, something a little more niched for people. So I'm going to do condos. And then this is the search network thing. So it says ads can appear in your Google search results and other Google sites when people search for terms that are relevant. So that would be like Google. And it says include Google search partners. This is what we were talking about a minute ago. And I'm not always sure what this means. And to me, it just sounds like lower tier traffic. And for most of us, we're going to only be spending 10 or 20 bucks a day. We don't really need that expansion and that lower tier. So I'm going to uncheck that. And I'm also going to uncheck the Google Display Network for these campaigns. Next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to choose my locations where I want to run the ad. Now, you have a few options here. You can choose to show your ad across all of the United States, and Canada, or you can say, I only want people who happen to be in my location to see the ad. I generally will choose all the United States and Canada. And then for location options, Google tries to kind of trick you here, but it says presence or interest, people in, regularly in, or have shown interest in, which kind of negates a lot of the targeting up here. To keep it simple, just choose the middle box. Okay, so it just means that they are searching from these areas. Okay, and we'll scroll down and skip this language stuff. If you want to select languages your customers speak, you can do that. Keep it at English. We'll set our daily budget. I like to set my budget to be at least what I expect the cost per lead to be. So at least $10 or $20 a day is a good place to go. You can see down here where it says bidding. What do you want to focus on? Conversions, set a target cost per action. What I've found that if you try to set this, if you set it too low, you won't get any traffic. They won't show your ad. I like to in the beginning, and a lot of people who train on this stuff will say, hey, just leave this unchecked to start. Let the algorithm learn, and then you can go back later and adjust it. Honestly, I never really go back later. I just let the Google's AI maximize my conversions and bid strategy, like so. So we'll go down. These extensions, a lot of people talk about these helping your ads. Mostly, I've only heard that from Google people. I personally don't worry about these. The examples that I was showing you that were getting good results, I don't use any of these. And one of the reasons I personally don't like them is I feel like it dilutes the focus of your ad when you add extra things to the ad. So specifically what these do is they give people other ways to connect with you. They click on different links within your site. You can add a site link that says, find the value of your house. I feel like it dilutes the focus of the endeavor and overall doesn't really get you very far. I know people have differences of opinion there, but to keep things simple and effective, we're gonna just leave these as is. I'm gonna click save and continue. Google's thinking a minute. There we go. And now what it's going to do is, because I entered in my URL, it's going to try to assume some keywords here. And I don't really like what they did. So I'm just going to get rid of those. And it's probably going to come up with similar keywords for you if you're using kvCORE site. And instead, I'm going to put enter products and services. And I'm going to do St. Pete, Florida real estate, or St. Pete, Florida homes. And what this is it's just seeding, it's giving Google some guidance, and it's going to give you some related keywords. And you'll see here, it'll now bring up some other stuff that people are searching. I don't like Zillow St. Pete houses for sale. And I'm going to get rid of the ones that aren't really kind of dead on to what I'm trying to attract. So just think about what somebody would be searching. You know, if somebody's searching this, do you want your ad to show or not? So maybe I want it to show if they're searching Zillow. I don't know. So we'll leave some of these longer ones here. Trulia. These are all okay in general. And then I'm going to just do St. Pete homes. St. Pete, Florida real estate. So this to a lot of people might seem like sloppy, or I'm not spending enough time on keywords. But as I mentioned before, because of our budgets that we're using, we don't need to overthink this too much. In fact, as you saw, I only had 8 keywords going around the main things people might be searching for. You know, city name, houses for sale, city name, real estate, a city name, condos, which is what we were doing, weren't we? St. Pete, Florida condos, right? So that's enough. And you can see over on the right, it says I'll get 16 clicks per day for an average CPA. This is just their estimates. And I'll get 1 lead a day like this, according to them. These numbers aren't always accurate, but there's a lot of other things factor in, like the ad copy and everything else, but I'll leave this like this. One thing that I'll point out is that you can change your match types down here. And you can do broad match, phrase match, or keyword, or exact match. Let me open a new window and quickly explain what these are. Broad match basically means that ads will show that are related to the keyword. So you're kind of giving Google broad license to interpret that keyword and just kind of show your ads if it's kind of close to what the person's doing. Phrase match, and let me copy this to you guys. This is a pretty good article they have here. A phrase match means that the actual term that's in your keywords needs to show up somewhere in the search. So if I put St. Pete homes in as a phrase match, and somebody searches St. Pete homes with 3 bedrooms, it'll probably show the ad. And the way that I get broad match or phrase match is by putting the little parentheses will take me to phrase match. So if I put parentheses around this, it'll go phrase. Now, in my experience with real estate, you kind of get away with broad in a lot of cases. So Google's really smart. It kind of just knows somebody's searching real estate stuff. They see your ad, clicking through to look for real estate in your area. Ross, the answer is yes to that. We have options in the marketplace, and I'll talk about that at the end. So broad match, phrase match, and then exact match means that they have to type the exact keyword that you put in here. This is important. You know, this is important for a number of reasons. If you want to get very granular, I'm going to X this out real quick. If I wanted to only show my ad to people searching St. Pete, Florida condos, and know that I'm only spending my money, somebody types these exact things, I can do so by putting those brackets around it. Okay, you'll see I'll get less clicks, but they'll be more targeted. So that's a quick little bit about that. Here's that article. Let's share. There we go. Okay, but again, don't overthink your keywords. You're probably not spending enough money for it to matter. Right? If you're only trying to spend 10 or 20 bucks a day, 1 or 2 main keywords will get you that kind of traffic. Okay, I'll answer that in a second, Patricia. Yep. So save and continue. And now we're going to get to the good part. We're going to run ourselves we're going to create our ad. Close my door, my family's getting home here. Okay. So our final URL, and this is where we're going to take people, is going to be either, we have two options. We can do a squeeze link on kvCORE, so a list of properties, or we can do a landing page. Now, the ad I showed you guys in the beginning was actually a landing page for new construction. That was something like this, but it said new construction. Get a list of new construction homes. And that was what was converting, I think, at 12% or so, if I'm remembering the number right. What we usually do if you buy the service through us through the marketplace is we actually drive these clicks to a squeeze link. And what I found is the conversions are pretty similar. You can actually get a pretty good conversion rate with the right landing page and the right keywords, but you'll get that 10 to 12% conversion rate by just building a good squeeze link by coming into kvCORE, going to lead engine and building our squeeze page. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to build the link that people click to for condos in the city that I'm targeting. So St. Petersburg. I always forget here if I need the period or not. There we go. And then my listing type is going to be condos. We'll leave all for price range. And then our source, this part's important so that we can track it as it comes into kvCORE. Our source will be Google. Maybe I'll do Google PPC. Hashtag will be condos. And then property views before registration. For purposes of Google, either leave it at default, which is where we get these 10 to 12% numbers. I haven't tested immediate much, but I have a feeling that would work well as well. I should actually do a split test on that. I don't know which works better, but I know that the 2 default is what we base a lot of the numbers I quote on. So that 10%, 12% conversion rate will get you, the 2 will get you that. I'm going to click generate link. And then it's very important that you use the top link. Google and Facebook, if you're running paid ads, they don't like when you use a shorter link that redirects to another URL. So they'll reject your ad. You have to use the first one right here. So we'll grab that. And that will be my final URL. And it's cracking me up. I don't know why it's saying home buyer tactics. I must have done an ad before. And now this part, what I'm about to do here, where we write our copy, has gotten a little more complicated in recent times because Google is making you give a lot more headline ideas. And it used to be that what you wrote, it happened in that order. So this line would be first, this line would be second. Now you need to kind of designate what you want to be in the first position or not. So this will make sense in a second. So I'll go St. Pete, Florida, condos, priced from the low 100 Ks. Search all listings now, something like that. And this was something you didn't need to do. If I leave it like this, it's just going to rotate all 3 of those. You can kind of see it doing on the right side there. If I want specifically for this one to show up first, I have to tell it. I have to hit this little kind of pin right here, thumbtack looking thing. And I have to say, hey, I want that in first position. I want this in second position. And I want this in third position. And then I can have multiple headlines that rotate and say, hey, I want this also to rotate position 1, if that makes sense. They made it a little more complicated. I don't love it, but I can see what they're trying to do there. They're trying to give the algorithm more options. Next, we'll come down to our descriptions. Okay, and I'll change that. I would not put my name and St. Pete, Florida real estate agent in there. People don't want to be chased by a salesperson for the most part, but you could do that, knowing that it might suppress response, but maybe the people who do opt in are okay with working with an agent up front. But I'm just going to do search all available condos in St. Pete, Florida today. Again, we'll do this first position thing, and then we'll say always up to date everything you see is active and locked, something like that. I don't know. So this is a little less important, but you can kind of use these few lines to kind of sell the idea of the click a little bit more. And once that's done, I'll hit done, and then it'll give me the option to add more versions. Now, I'll confess, best practice would be to have multiple versions, but generally I go the lazy route. I just have one version here. Sometimes I'll go back and add a second one after I see how the first one's performing. In real estate in particular, if you do what I just showed you and you kind of follow this step by step, you can expect to get a pretty good result. So you'll see here, Google tries to get me to create these extensions. As long as they let me publish it, we'll see if they do. And I don't need to worry about these other warnings. They're happy. And that's it. Now it says ads under review takes 1 to 2 days. My experience, once your account's been live a little while, it doesn't take that long. They're just setting expectations for it to be 1 or 2 days, but usually it'll be a little quicker than that. So now if I go back to my all campaigns, here we go. Get my screen back down. You'll see I now have my existing campaign that's live, and then I'll have this campaign here that shows a green light on the side. But if I drill into the ad will say that it's pending approval or something like that. Pending under review right here. So that's how you run a Google search ad. Somebody's searching on Google and you show your ad to somebody searching on Google. When they click over to your site, they click over to your squeeze link, and then they're prompted to opt in and they become a lead in your system.
You see what Chris mentioned there? It looks like he wants you to teach him about HTML and CSS.
Not today.
Funnily enough, though, Chris, one of our previous sessions actually with Kelly, I believe, she actually went into a lot of how you can build out some tools with blogs and improving the SEO with exactly that. I'll see if I can find it and share it with you here today, Chris. Just give me a second, but yeah, we did actually go over it.
Yeah, and I can definitely, we did that areas pages a few weeks back. I can mess with that. I'm not great with CSS. And I might defer to some of the other trainers on that. Maybe we can get David Sheltrin on. Mostly because I don't think making things look cooler makes you any money. That's my personal bias. I don't speak for everybody else. But I hear you, Chris. We'll try to get there. The link for the area pages webinar, that wasn't too long ago, was it? Let's see. And we'll get through some questions now. Patricia, I think that was not very long ago. Here we go. I went pretty deep on.
And there's the blogging with Kelly right there on the 9th.
Yep. Here, I'll get that. So that first link I dropped was where I went into area pages on a product update webinar about a week or two ago. And then this one, the blogging. So yeah, so that's how to run a Google ad. What's everybody think? Do you feel like the pace was good there, that you can confidently create one of these yourself? And I'll address that question we had about how do I get this done myself? Pretty much what you just saw me do, with a little more sophistication, more keywords, a little more active management, our team keeping an eye on it, keeping the cost down. You can do that via the marketplace here. You go to marketplace, click on leads, and you'll see managed Google pay-per-click ads. And I believe that service either starts at, let's get rid of this pesky. I think it starts at $750. It might be $500 now. Yeah, it starts at $750 a month. And that includes the cost of the traffic. So we spend 90% of that $750 on the traffic, and 10% is used for management of the campaigns. One advantage to learning how to do this yourself, of course, is that you can control that budget from day to day. You don't have to commit to that much. You can start for as low as, say, $5 or $10 a day by controlling your own budgets.
Alrighty.
Oh,
Just noticed that, Glenda, it looks like you're having trouble finding our links there. That spreadsheet that I shared with you guys, that is up to date. That has all of our past recordings on it, except for this one, because it hasn't finished yet. Just pointing this out to you there. You should see that next level strategies tab. Ryan, would you be able to just share that real quick? Make sure that they can see exactly where that link or those recordings are for them.
Yeah, yeah. I'm just going back here and grabbing it. Here we go.
All right. So you guys just have to make sure that you are at the bottom there. There's a next level strategies tab. All right. And following this, this is where all of our previous recordings are.
Yeah,
Okay.
and they're also on YouTube.
Yes.
I I want everybody on YouTube.
Yes. All right, Glenda.
Christian knows this. I'm kind of joking.
No. Yeah, we definitely want you guys to check it out on YouTube and stuff, because we can technically track more of your interaction on YouTube
Yeah.
than through Zoom. So at least with what you might be interested in. So,
Well, I like YouTube because once you subscribe to our YouTube channel, YouTube will start to show you anything we post. So it's kind of
yeah.
a kind of cool thing. Let's get through some of these. So we got some great questions here.
Cool.
I'm gonna work from the bottom.
All right.
How can you compete with a company spending big money on ad location? Actually, quite easily. They are spent, so you're getting the same lead cost per lead as they are most likely. And I would venture to say that if you do what I just did, you might actually end up spending a little less. So the way that Google works is an auction, right? So your ad will show just as much as their ad will show based on what you're bidding per click. And you notice that I let Google just choose the bidding here. So there's no reason to think that you can't get clicks. They're going to get more because their budget's bigger, but you will definitely, Google will spend your money that you will allow them to spend. So you say 10 or 20 bucks a day, they'll spend most or all of it, and you'll get the clicks. I hope that answers the question, KC. You don't have to worry that Zillow or somebody's going to, or the brokerage down the street who has 1,000 agents and you've only got 10 at your company. The playing field is pretty level. As long as you're willing to, you just put your budget in and go at your own pace.
I've got an interesting question myself here, actually, Ryan.
Yep.
I wanted to know about those keywords with the broad matches, the more exact ones, or the specific set up with like the quotation marks and everything. Keywords, that's it. Can you do all three types? Like copy the same thing, repeat it, but use one of the set keywords with the brackets and the other set with the quotation marks, so that way you're targeting all three at once?
Great question. And you can. Yeah. So actually, if you go into the keyword section here and you check everything off and you click edit, you can do change match types.
Okay.
And I can say change all match types. And you'll see when I say I want to change them all to phrase, see how it says keep original keywords and create duplicate keywords with new match type?
Awesome.
So you can run them all alongside each other. And then
is that something that you think should be the case, or does that like take away from anything? Does it just empower it?
So I like the idea of trying all three when you start, and then optimizing later. And you'll hear, performance marketers, which is kind of what we're doing. We're running traffic here. You'll hear people always say, "Well, test it." You don't know until you test it, and you look at the data. So I just copied all those. I can come back here in a few weeks and I can say, okay, well, what's my cost per lead when I go exact versus phrase? And if I see that my cost per conversion is significantly higher for one than the other, I can turn off the match
the broad
type
matches or whatever. Yeah. Okay.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
That's pretty cool.
Oh yeah.
I kind of like, is like throwing everything at the wall and seeing what sticks. This might be a good way to kind of decipher what's best for you guys.
And that's kind of what professional performance marketers do, is they kind of test a hypothesis and then they try to beat the control. So they'll get baseline for results. If I really cared here about getting my cost per lead down from like $9 to $8.50, I could come in here every day and start to optimize down, turn stuff off that isn't working, scale stuff that is. And that's what, just so you guys know, there are a lot of, it's a job description. I mean, most companies have people doing this, and that's what those people are doing all day. We have a few people who are kind of growth marketing specialists internally. And if you buy the service from us, that's kind of what Katie and the team are doing. They're kind of watching your ads and then looking for opportunities to shave your cost per lead down. So let's see, more questions, just kind of looking up here. I think we got to most of them actually. Oh, we did. So yeah, that's kind of the basics, guys. Just keep in mind that there are there are display and video campaign options as well with Google. If you go into the courses section, and I realize not everybody, depending on your company, would have access to this current layout for courses. I think a lot of our white labels don't, Christian, like, but if you have access to this courses page here, currently you can go into the next level section and click this DIY pay-per-click ads, and we do have more training about Google and Facebook in here that you can check out.
You can also, I believe we do have our support articles section there. If you just click on support and training
Yep.
with support docs.
Yep.
There you go.
You can search there for Google how to and everything. So yeah, so that was kind of our core content for today. Christian and I have, what do we have, Christian? We have like another 20 minutes or so.
Yeah. So I did want to bring it back here because Rich has been patient. He did ask us that question in the beginning, talking a little bit about yesterday of what we went over with adding core video to the emails and text messages and stuff, which is awesome. Heather went over that yesterday. And it looks like, Rich, you asked, in the main CRM, it shows recent activity. All right. Is there a way to track the video text and video email responses to the customer versus the regular text messages or email responses? At this time, I believe there's no offer as far as comparisons go, but you can filter out those leads that have responded. But there is no difference between those that have responded versus the video text messages versus the regular ones. Rich, if you'd like to explain yourself more, just raise your hand and I'll allow you to talk. But that seems to be an answer. Just let me know if it did answer your question there.
Yep. There was a question about any books or other sources to dive deep into SEO performance marketing. Check out Perry Marshall. He's got a lot of stuff on his website, and I think he wrote the original Google PPC book in the early 2000s, but his local business marketing book is kind of a good way to get started. Digital Marketer, I just rejoined them. I've been a member of this from time to time. Their content has really gotten a lot better. I mean, it was always good, but their membership, I'm really happy with it. If you guys really want to go deep on all different types of ad channels and traffic and conversions. Ryan Dice, who founded Digital Marketer, runs the Traffic and Conversion Summit, really popular conference every year as well. And then on SEO, I learned SEO from SEObook.com in the mid 2000s. I don't know if he's still, but I remember taking a free course here and I ranked for Philadelphia real estate within like a year. So it was pretty good stuff. So SEObook.com.
One of the first looks like, yeah, we had that question coming in. One of the first things we had about this next level training, actually, Bo, you're asking some more about that performance and SEO, is actually going over that specific topic. I'm going to link out to that video right now for you. We did talk about this.
Cool. And then a question about property boost from Ross. He wants to do a property boost for an agent. How can you change the seller email? I think you set the seller email. Oh, I see what you're saying. It comes from you, not the agent. I think the best way to go about that might be to log into the agent's account. All right, Christian, can admins do that? Can you go into an agent's account or no?
No, you can't go into the agent's account, but what were they looking to do? I'm sorry.
Well, Ross wants to order a property boost on behalf of one of his agents, if I'm understanding right, and then have the email, the seller notification email, come from that agent, not him.
I believe they actually can set up a property boost for the site because they get to choose the websites. Yes. So yeah, the admin can do that. They can.
Yeah, the issue is the email that comes notifying the seller about the traffic.
Oh, okay.
And since Ross is ordering it, I think it's by default set to come from Ross. But he wants to come from his agent, who is either probably a listing agent. Ross, that's a little bit of a nuanced one. I maybe try support. Our marketplace support team might be able to help there. I'm guessing they might say, hey, that's got to be a feature request to make that a toggle or an option. Yep. Or if you can just get into that, maybe the agent will let you log into their account, get their login. Yeah, Ross says he chose the agent's website. That's actually kind of a glitch, Ross, now that I think about it, because you did choose the agent's website, so it should know. So yeah, I'll mention that to that team as well. Good one. Cool. Any other questions, guys? If not, let's see. How do you get your ad on the first page of a Google search? So what we just did will do that. Now, it won't always be on the first page, but Google's going to try to spend your budget. And the way that they spend your budget, make sure that you get clicks so they can charge you for the clicks, is by showing your ad on the first page. So the exact process I just ran is how you get your ad on the first page. Now, it won't show there every search. It'll be budget depending, but they'll show it enough that you get those clicks every day.
Yeah, I think as well too, like if they've already clicked into the ad and registered, I think because of that, like how it happened with you, right? The ad didn't show, or no ads show for you. It looks like there.
Well, yeah, because I'm logged into. They're watching out for click fraud, because otherwise you could just go click all your competitors' ads all day.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, but it will show, and you'll see the data that it's showing in your dashboard.
This is really cool, Ryan. Thank you for coming by and showing all this.
Yeah. Ross says, don't the ads also increase organic searches?
Maybe.
Well, I remember back in the day, people talked about this, like that there was a theory. We never know what Google's algorithm is doing. Is that they rewarded you with better SEO because you were spending money on their ads. If that's what you're referring to, Ross. I remember hearing stuff about that now, but I don't think anybody really knows that for sure.
Yeah, I will say SEO is something that it requires a lot of work, not just from your end either. So
yeah, whole nother can of worms. I mean, you got to create a lot of content. There's a lot to know. It's fun.
That video that I just shared at Bodo there, guys, that was one of our first videos that we posted for this next level training series. And it goes over specifically SEO and how you can use kvCORE to improve it. And it's pretty much at no cost to you other than your time.
Cool. Was that with Ernest?
No, that was actually with Annalisa, I believe.
Oh, cool. Okay, guys. Well, thank you for all the questions. Hopefully you can use this information to run some Google ads. Otherwise, if you have more, say, money than time, right? You don't want to mess with this stuff. We do have the service there sitting in the marketplace. You just click marketplace and go over to the leads section. If you have any questions about these products, you can always chat and just ask away.
Very cool.
All right.
Awesome. Thank you there, Ryan. Everyone else, thank you guys for being here today. We're just going to end this a little bit early. Everyone, you have a great day. You enjoy the weekend, and I'll see you guys all on Monday.
All right,
Bye,
later.
everyone.